Just as Queen Ojugo was about to say something, they heard a loud scream from the king's bedroom and they all rushed in fear. King Obieze woke up from his sleep screaming and breathing heavily. He was also sweating profusely. Well, instead of the king to respond, he started laughing and acting funny. He kept repeating the questions that he was being asked by the chiefs and guards. Welcome to Iyagba's Epic Tales. Once upon a time, in a kingdom named Obammala Kingdom, lived a king called King Obieze. King Obieze was greatly loved by his people, and this is because he was a very good, kind and noble king. King Obieze was one who hates injustice and ensures that one gets justice if they have suffered any sort of injustice. King Obieze had ascended the throne at a very young age of 23 after the death of his father, the former king. The people of Obammala adores King Obieze because he was nothing like his late father and their former king, who was cruel and wicked to his people. King Obieze's father ruled the people with terror, and the people had feared that Obieze would turn out to be like his father. This is because initially when King Obieze was a young prince and his father was still alive, he was also rude and arrogant then, just like his father. He was spoilt and over-pampered while growing up as a young child by his parents, the king and queen, and he grew up to be a young wayward youth. But surprisingly, when his father passed away, he miraculously turned a new leaf. The once arrogant and so disrespectful prince became calm and respectful to everyone, both young and old. And so, it was said that it was the late king who had tried to spoil his son and had tried to influence him negatively. As mentioned earlier, King Obieze hates injustice. Anyone who oppressed his neighbor, friend or family is certainly dealt with and given a due punishment by the king. The people of Obammala were happy because of the king they have now and lived in peace, except for one thing which troubles them. It is the fact that the women and the young girls of the village were not safe. There is an unknown masked man who rapes women and young girls alike whenever they were alone. At first, this unknown marksman rapes the women outside of their homes, on their way to or from the market, stream or farm. So, the women began to move in pairs, and that was when the unknown rapist started sneaking into the homes to rape girls and women when alone, even in their compound. The people cried and complained to their king, and this saddens and bothers King Obieze greatly. I assure you that this evil man would be found very soon and be brought to justice, King Obieze assured his people. He deployed hunters and warriors to search for the evil rapist, but the more they searched and the days went by, the more the unknown rapist raped more women and girls uncaught. One morning, King Obieze had woken up very late. King Obieze and his council of chiefs were to have a meeting that morning. All members of the chief council were present at the palace. As the king not awoken yet, it is going to be midday in about less than an hour, one chief said, inquiring from the king's wife, Queen Ojugo. King Obieze and Queen Ojugo had been married a year after King Obieze began to rule. Just as Queen Ojugo was about to say something, they heard a loud scream from the king's bedroom and they all rushed in fear. King Obieze woke up from his sleep screaming and breathing heavily. He was also sweating profusely. Everyone who had rushed in asked the king what the problem was and why he had screamed. Well, instead of the king to respond, he started laughing and acting funny. He kept repeating the questions that he was being asked by the chiefs and guards who had rushed into his bedroom. His wife, Queen Ojugo, and his mother, the Queen Mother, went closer to him and touched him, but he beat his mother's hand and continued laughing as she bled and cried out of pain. This was not normal, and that was when it dawned on the chiefs and everyone in the room that the king had gone mad. The royal also were able to keep the secret of the king's mental condition only for the period of 3 weeks. However, the old people of Obammala got to know about the king's condition. This saddened the whole village. What could have happened to our beloved king? They all wondered and asked with no answers. The council of chiefs had met the chief priest and consulted with the gods. Soon, what is hidden will come to light. That was the reply the chief priest kept giving the chiefs and the royal household as they kept asking him to commune with the gods regarding the king's state of health. Only that was said to them, but no answer nor solution was given as regard the king's mental condition. They thought to pick someone who would replace the king for the meantime, but according to their custom, it was a taboo to replace a living king. The people of Obammala lived in fear during this period as they conclude that they were vulnerable to whatever attacks from enemies because their king was not fit and sane to protect them against any form of attacks. The women and girls feared the most because the evil rapist was still out there and had not been caught. The evil rapist will strike more because our king is not in the position to save us, they all cried. However, as the weeks went by, the villagers noticed something. It was the fact that they had not recorded any case of rape since the king became mad. It seemed as though the evil rapist decided to take pity on the Obammala people and stop its evil acts. Immediately, King Obieze became mad. Well, after many weeks with no word from their gods and their chief priest, the council of chiefs decided to send messengers to Okuku Hills. Okuku Hills was 7 villages away. They had heard of a great chief priest named Otuku who has a solution for every problem, no matter what the problem was. Otuku was rumored to possess great power to even convince the gods to grant him his wishes. It took the messengers of Obammala 9 days and 9 nights to get to Okuku Hills, and another 9 days and nights to return back with Otuku, the great chief priest. Your king is the cause of his misfortune, Otuku said after seeing King Obieze. He had done so much great evils, and the gods have allowed his wife, the queen, to deal with him the way she pleased, Otuku said to the people again. Everyone stared in shock. What had the king done? And why has the god allowed his wife to deal with him? What would make a queen, the wife of the king, subject her own husband to the state of madness? So you are beyond my son's condition, you evil woman. What did my son do to you? King Obieze's mother, the queen mother, asked Queen Ojugo while trying to pounce on her. Please tell us, what offense did our king commit towards you that you have punished him with the spirit of madness? The chiefs in council asked Queen Ojugo. Your so-called good king is the evil rapist who have been raping the women and girls of this village, Queen Ojugo revealed. Everyone laughed and asked Queen Ojugo to shut her mouth for trying to accuse their noble king of something so despicable. You must be joking, my queen. How would you say such about our noble king? They all said. But Otuku asked that they allow her speak because she was saying the truth. Queen Ojugo revealed that many years ago, when she was only a young girl before she married the king and became queen, she had also been raped by the unknown face, but her family had kept it a secret and put it behind them. But then, the raping became worse and intense many years later, which was now. Queen Ojugo said that she could no longer enjoy it, especially when her young niece was also raped. Now, Queen Ojugo's maternal grandmother was also a strong priestess of Adinwe. Adinwe goddess is the goddess of fairness and justice. By virtue of being the granddaughter of the princess of Adinwe, Queen Ojugo also possessed the power to commune with Adinwe, but she had chose to live a normal life, and Adinwe was not a god who forces people to be a priest. But when the rape crimes were becoming too much, Queen Ojugo traveled to her maternal village one morning to meet her grandmother, and upon consultation with Adinwe, it was revealed that King Obieze was the face behind the masked rapist and the one who had also raped her when she was younger many years ago, and the one who had also raped her niece. Had to believe that King Obieze was the one behind such despicable acts, Queen Ojugo asked that the rapist, whomsoever he was, be struck with the spirit of madness and made impotent. And she was shocked when she returned home that indeed it was King Obieze who was truly behind all the rape crimes in the village when he became mad that morning. Everyone in the palace also find it hard to believe what Queen Ojugo had revealed. And just then, King Obieze became well and sane again. He was told about what Queen Ojugo had earlier accused him of, and he confessed and admitted to being the masked rapist. Well, King Obieze had actually not changed as he had made the whole village to believe. After his father's death, the Queen Mother got to find out that the Council of Chiefs were making sacrifices and planning to crown the late king's cousin as king instead, as they did not want to risk having a wicked and an unjust king to rule them again. And that was when the Queen Mother planned with her son to put up an act and make the whole village believe that he was a changed man suitable to rule them. She was also aware of her son's evil act of raping women, but had been quiet about it. The chief and every other person could not believe what they are hearing as they all opened their mouths wide in shock. They could not believe that they have been fooled all these years by the king and the Queen Mother. Well, few minutes after King Obieze confessed, he suddenly fell down and died instantly. The Queen Mother was banished from Obammala's kingdom, as it was agreed that such evil woman and mother cannot be allowed to live amongst them. The village was cleansed and the kingship went to another family. The lesson to be learned from this story is that one cannot hide evil and deceive people forever. Those who does evil and are pretentious should know that someday their evil deeds would be exposed and that the consequence of evil deeds is there. The end.
I hope you enjoyed the story and have learned a thing or two from it. I would love to know. Please leave a comment. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video. Bye.